and I'm going to go with Kansas State. I know that there's been a lot of discussion about Utah, and I think they're the preseason favorite, and I think rightfully so. But I cannot get over the backfield that Kansas State's going to have with Avery Johnson, DJ Giddens, Dylan Edwards. I think Chris Klieman's done a great job at Kansas State in his time there. I know there's been a lot of discussion about Utah coming in with the type of style that they play, the physical beat you up style of ball that they play, and help them be really successful in Pac-12 conference. Well, guess what? Kansas State's been doing that in the Big 12. And I think now that the power vacuum has opened with Texas and Oklahoma leaving, Kansas State has already won a Big 12 title in recent years. I think Avery Johnson's ready to break out. I like Bruce. I know you talked to him a little bit. Matt Wells, really high on Avery Johnson. Matt coached Jordan Love over at Utah State. I think seems like there's a lot of similarities in terms of the ceiling for Avery Johnson there. And I just think K-State's got a chance really to make a statement this year in the first year of the Big 12. So they'll be my number one pick. But Bruce, I'd love to hear from you a little bit on your perspective, because you had been talking to Matt Wells, former Texas Tech coach, former Utah State coach, and what they think about Avery Johnson over there.
Yeah, Avery's blazing fast. I mean, he's also put on, when I talked to him in Vegas, he's put on over 20 pounds. He's 195 pounds. He was super skinny last year, in the bowl game when he was the MVP of the bowl game. But the biggest thing Matt Wells had told me, and as you said, he developed Jordan at Utah State, was the work ethic and the things that you hear about him from Chris Klieman, and I also talked to Justin Hoover, who's been the private quarterback coach with him, and Hoover's had a bunch of NFL guys he's worked with. He's a much better passer than I think people have given him credit for, because they just know how fast he is, but also the work ethic. Chris Klieman's talking about it factor, and the most competitive guy he's had since Easton Stick, who won, I think, 4 national titles for him at North Dakota State. All those things, the other thing I would add on why I would kind of be bullish on K-State, why I like your pick, is if you look at the preseason rankings in the conference, the top 5 teams that are there, you had Utah, they don't play Utah. And then the other teams that are in there, they all get them to come to Manhattan. So it sets up really well for them. Good pick, Sam.
Thank you. Justin, you are up with the second pick of the Big 12 Power Draft. Who are you taking?
I would have taken Kansas State first. They were my pick, but I am going to go Utah here at number 2. I do have some trepidation. It's basically a new team in the sense that Cam Rising didn't play at all last year. They lost Micah Bernard, their running back, for most of the year. Brant Keithy. Am I saying that right, Bruce?
Yep.
Keithy, the tight end, missed all of last year. These are guys who are like what would have been all Pac-12 performers, but they haven't been on the field in a long time. So I am, however, I'm giving Kyle Whittingham the benefit of the doubt. I think he and Utah have earned the sense that until they show they come out and fall on their face, like I'm not going to assume that's going to happen. Even with all those injuries last year, they went 5-4 in a really good Pac-12, had 8 wins overall. So if you're getting Cam Rising back healthy, which by all accounts we are, if you're getting some of those other guys back healthy, they added Dorian Singer, wide receiver, in the transfer portal. They're always solid on defense. And you mentioned this, Sam, and I talked to Kyle Whittingham about this earlier this offseason. They come in like Big 12 ready. They were a little bit of a mismatch in what the Pac-12 had become in terms of air it out, really quarterback heavy. Well, all of a sudden the Big 12 is like ground and pound, running back heavy. Kind of defenses are adjusting and evolving with that. Utah is going to come in and totally get the pace and style of play that the Big 12 has kind of turned into. And so until we see Kyle Whittingham and Utah start to fall off, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and pick him my second choice here.
Bruce, you thoughts on Utah? You've seen them quite a bit. What do you think on?
Yeah, I mean, they're the team as a sideline reporter. They're the team that you notice and like, wow, when you see them physically, TV doesn't do them justice because of their physicality. They're big. They're always physical. I mean, Kyle Whittingham, he kind of exudes that, and his team reflects it. Rising when he's healthy is really, really good. They're always good on defense. Now they lost some really good guys two big time safeties. Jonah Ellis was really, disruptive edge guy. So, but they have really good linebackers, and I think they're a talented team. Dorian Singer was fantastic for Arizona a couple of years ago, and he was less of a factor at USC. He's not the fastest receiver in the world, but he has really good ball skills. And I think with him and Keithy, again, Keithy was hurt most of last year too. Those guys are healthy. They're, I feel like it's like one, having the second pick in this is good, but I just feel like there's like 5 teams that are very close. And it wouldn't at all surprise me if Utah was the class of the conference, given what they've been. It's just a matter of, can they stay healthy?
And lucky for you, because you're last in the first round, you will get back-to-back picks in our snake draft. So you'll get the end of round 1, top round 2. So you're actually in a really good spot here, considering how deep the conference is at the top. So Bruce, third pick, Big 12 power draft. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Oklahoma State here. Obviously, Mike Gundy's won a lot of football games there. Ollie Gordon is a dynamic running back. They have an extremely experienced offensive linebacker. I like Alan Bowman. Alan is probably older than Justin, and he's a really good leader. He obviously was a prolific quarterback at Texas Tech. Went to Michigan. He's super mature. They have good receivers. Brendan Presley is a dynamic, smaller receiver. I think they have really good chemistry. There's a lot to like. You have, some edge guys who can get after the quarterback, Colin Oliver, obviously. For me, the only thing I a little hesitant on them is because on paper they make a lot of sense because all the experience on offense, but there's always been that like clunker year that comes out of nowhere. It feels a little like Virginia Tech used to be, where when you don't expect them to be very good, they're really good, and then when you kind of do, they maybe disappoint and dip back a little bit. But for the third spot, I feel pretty good about them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say this. I thought last year was the best coaching job Mike Gundy's done since he's been there. It was really impressive to see where they started early in the year and how they evolved and adapted to their personnel over the course of the season, really reinvented themselves and turned from a team that struggled in the non-conference to one that played for a Big 12 championship. And I think that's a testament to Gundy's acumen and his adaptability and being able to, he's not the same coach. This is not the same Oklahoma State that we saw 10 years ago that was throwing it all over the yard. This is a different team that can be physical, that can win at the line of scrimmage and win multitude of ways. And obviously they rode Ollie Gordon quite a bit last year. And him being back, I think, is so huge. I do like a lot of their defensive personnel. I think Alan Bowman, for me, is the big question mark. But considering how much they bring back, the returning production, they're near the top of the country in returning production with all those starters back. I think the 4th, according to SP Plus, 77% returning production. I think they're absolutely, to me, I think all 3 teams we just listed, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Utah, I think they're in a tier on their own as Big 12 title contenders. And I think Oklahoma State's absolutely in that group.